Angus Fender showed great form in the series last season, finishing 4th overall, and will go close, if not win, by season's end.
From Gordon Mutch, because Angus Fender was coming round the outside of him. Mutch was trying to take the lead back, but Fender is through and into the lead. Mutch now second, third is Jake Douglas. Something technical, but up the inside, it's been a very dominant performance out in front for Angus Fender. He's going to take the victory in the 67 in front of the 61 of Gordon Mutch. But across the line, as you can see from the graphic, penalties galore for Gowndry, Douglas and Smith. That changes the order, but not on the top three. Fender, Mutch and Pitt.
Angus, race winner in Junior X30 at Rissington. There was a rumour you weren't going to be turning up this weekend. You've been doing some exams apparently, but looks like you made a late decision to come.
Yeah, I decided to come here for the Saturday after having my last day of school before study leave on the Friday. I thought it was worth coming along after winning round 1 at Rissington. Yeah, I couldn't really miss the opportunity.
No, absolutely right. And difficult conditions at Rissington, but you obviously revelled in them.
Yeah, the rain just came down just before going out onto the grid, so we had a scrabble for wet tyres, which favoured my height and how I drive the car in general. Just managed to get a gap quite early on, and then from then on it was just about staying consistent, not making any relatively silly mistakes.
Here we go once again, and it's going to be Mutch to the first corner, is it? He's going to really work hard. He's just managed to hold on in front of the hard-charging Angus Fender, who shot up into second position. Great start.
You see him there in 4th place, right behind Angus Fender. Ethan Pitt in front of Fender. The two teammates battling it out. Here comes McQuillan, may go with Fender. He does. So great opportunist move there. The day from 8th on the grid to 2nd, but it's Mutch that takes the win from McQuillan. Ethan Pitt holds on from Angus Fender. And so Mutch, McQuillan and Pitt, the top 3.
Junior X30 at Fullbeck. The sun is shining. It's a tough, close grid, so we should be in for a pretty exciting fight. And once again, it's Angus Fender versus Gordon Mutch on the front row of the grid, so we should have fireworks right from the off. Pritchard Williams and Greetham are on the second row. We should get another look at that, but that was a nasty tangle, and I think that was Oliver Clark just trying to go through the field too quickly. Let's have a look and see what happened. Up on the inside of the chicane, is that Clark? Yes, look, Clark has gone to the inside of Greetham, tagged him, contact, bang, several carts in the wars.
Front wheel contact to rear wheel contact. The man doing the overtaking will always be held responsible in those circumstances. And look at the two leaders, they've broken clear out front.
Third position, not bad for a rookie. Shane White, absolutely brilliant driving from him here at Fullbeck. The only two men in front of him are the ones that have disappeared into the distance. They just disappeared out of this shot.
Still Mutch that leads it from Angus Fender. Fender is the championship leader. He, of course, is the one that inherited that lead after the decision to exclude Gordon Mutch from the race at Fender.
You can say an awful lot about the gold chassis driver as well, Angus Fender. He is the championship leader. He's right on the tail of the Scot, and this is going to be pretty much the box seat to be in, isn't it, within a couple of minutes when we run out of time on the clock. Because going into the penultimate lap, he has the opportunity to snatch it off Gordon Mutch in the final couple of corners, and considering how close this battle is between the two of them, it will be a really interesting spectacle when we get there.
Yeah, I like Angus Fender. I like Angus Fender a lot, both on and off the track. Very smart, always has something to say. He's always very complimentary about the other drivers. always has something positive to say about them and the battle that they've had, and that's one of the things that I really like about Angus. Always keeps his head, never seems to allow the red mist to descend, and I think moving forward he's another driver with the right sort of financial backing, and I think he has got some. We'll definitely see him racing cars at some point.
You know who always used to be like that, don't you? Dario Franchitti, 4 times an IndyCar Series champion and 3 times an Indy 500 winner. So Angus Fender keeping up that sort of profile, keeping his image on and off the circuit as squeaky clean as that. Who knows? Very marketable young man, especially if he gets a championship on the board. And look, a little further into the race, he's picked his moment.
Out of shot of the cameras, Jake. Out of shot of the cameras. He's made his way past. Now, I think that was down in the boot, but we never picked it up, unfortunately. But he's made his way past. Apparently a little bit controversial, according to some. May have been a little bit of contact, but he's through, and look, he's clearing off into the last lap, though. It's Angus Fender that's pulled away. Gordon Mutch chasing. Shane White, again, Jake, another rookie. Very, very impressive.
But Fender, an important victory over Gordon Mutch, and very timely in the championship fight. Shane White, take your bow, sir. 3rd position with a fighting, gutsy drive, and the leading rookie, Ethan Pitt, in front of Ethan Reese, with Oliver Clark rounding out the top 6. McLennan Smith, Greetham, and Pritchard Williams round out the top 10.
So Angus, perfect weekend for you. You know, just talk us through how you're feeling at the moment.
Yeah, it was a great weekend for me. Managed to win both heats and then both finals as well. So maximum points, great for the championship. Well done to Gordon, well done to Shane, who came from last to 3rd, which is a great result. But of course the biggest thanks has to go to Scott Allen from J-Karts. He did a cracking job all weekend, made sure the car was exactly perfect start to finish.
And talk us through the move of the lead, because you know you lost the lead for a while but got it back just when it mattered.
Yeah, I spent most of the race sizing on that move. I knew I had the pace in hand, so I could buy my time and just wait for the right opportunity to occur. Managed to get a car back coming out of the complex, and then was side by side for the next corner, and I was able to get the move done, and then was able to just stretch my legs for the last 2 laps.
And did you ever feel you would have had the pace to maybe make the move sooner, or were you just waiting for that last lap?
I was waiting for the latest opportunity possible, so that I knew I would have the least time to defend, and therefore least chance to make any errors. But it turned out the move was good enough that I didn't have to defend at all. I pulled enough of a gap out straight away. Yeah, so perfect weekend for me. Thanks.
The tall, well-spoken, mild-mannered champion in the waiting. There's another Matt Neal, you're looking at him right there. Angus Fender leading Ethan Pitt in the championship with Harry McQuillan, Gordon Mutch and Shane White, the rookie, in tow. This is going to be an interesting fight between those two. Fever pitch on the horizon here in Junior X30. Angus Fender, the English star, starts on pole. He needs second place to win the championship, but his main rival in the championship, as you'll see, is outside the top 10. Fender and Cook on the front row from Ross and Westover, Taylor and Westworth, Pitt and White, Nippers and Harvey rounding out the top 10. There is Gordon Much in P15, sharing the 8th row with Reggie Dewey, just behind Clark and Greetham. Now, this battle between these two has gone on all season long, and it's going to reach ahead here at PF International. Here we go, and immediately Fender's gone into the lead as he gets in front of Evan Cook, and he's already pulled out a gap. He needs second place to win. He doesn't want second, he wants first.
Wow, look at that for a start. That is the start dreams are made of. In his dreams last night, he will never have envisaged a scenario. That's Teddy Pritchard-Williams. He's off the circuit coming onto Lichfield Bridge. That's the lead he has currently. Gordon Much is amongst the melee, but in his wildest dreams he wouldn't have foreseen this on lap 1 when he needs second place for the title. It looks like it's all over bar the shouting, surely.
Absolutely amazing. And we did think coming into this one, this battle that they've been on, Fender and Much, all season long, we wondered coming in, is this going to be Culloden or is this going to be Bannockburn? Which of them is going to end up in front? And it looks as though this time it's going to be Culloden, the English star, Angus Fender. Look at the lead.
That is massive. That is massive in one lap. I've never seen a lead like that in one lap, to be honest.
Well, not unless it's wet.
For me.
Not unless it's wet anyway. I mean, this is an amazing charge. Evan Cook now running in second position, leading what effectively, if you count out Fender, is the race lead. And it's absolutely amazing in this first couple of laps. He's being chased down by Louis Westover as they come onto the back straight. Gordon Much trying to work his way through. And now Ethan Rees is gone. There he goes, the 14. The Coles racing driver has had an off at the same place, the Lichfield Bridge, on the same part of the circuit, and now Evan Cook has lost that second place to Westover, and right behind them comes Ethan Pitt for company. A good battle further back as very nearly there Tom Nippers going off the circuit as they manage to nick their way through the chicane. Angus Fender's gone off into a different country.
And it looks like Gordon Much there is in 10th place, just going underneath the drone through Bobby Game Corner, through the Mike Wilson complex. He's got a gaggle of carts in front of him. Basically what he has to do, and it doesn't look like he's even going to catch Angus Fender now. He's got to catch Fender. If he caught Fender and got the lead, and Fender was in second place, and there was 30 metres between Fender and the man in third place, Gordon Much would basically have to back him up into the carts behind because he cannot allow Fender to come second. There is Gordon Much just going through the shot blue suit. But, well, to catch him, that is a huge lead at this stage of the race. It's incredible.
Yeah, he's going to need a Thor-like thunderbolt, isn't he, to strike him at this point. It's going to be amazing. There's the gap between Fender and Westover. It's over 2 seconds on the... Unbelievable. I just can't believe he's managed to get away that quickly. We know Fender's good. We know he's brilliant. But we didn't think he was meteoric. Absolutely incredible. And he's going for this championship by running away and hiding. And this is a similar scenario for Gordon Much, as Abby Pulling was in earlier. He's got to drop this score. This is his worst weekend of the season. He can't help that. He's had all sorts of technical difficulties. So now he's got to rely on a problem for Fender. And that problem is nowhere to be seen right now. Much is not going to lose this place if he can help it. He needs to try and get on terms with Fender. The only way to do this really now, as you say, Alan, is to catch him, pass him, back him into the field, because he can't even afford to take him out because he could get excluded from the meeting altogether.
Yeah, he can't afford anything like that, and Gordon's not that type of driver, to be honest. He won't do that, but will he back him up into the carts behind? You can be absolutely certain if he had the lead. But look at what he's got to do to get the lead, though. That lead is coming down. It was 2:08, then 2 seconds, 1.96, so it's coming down very slowly. And you can see, look at that lead. That lead is coming down. That's the leader. And that's Gordon Much there. So we picked out the 2 main championship protagonists for you, first and 6. But this lead is being cut down, Joe. This could get very interesting.
It could. Well, I wonder, has Fender pushed the kart too hard, too fast? Has he worn it out a little bit here? And a little bit of a slide there as up the inside temporarily goes Shane White, but he's going to lose that second place all the way back down to third. I was going to say fourth, but it is third. Clark couldn't quite repeat the move, but Westover gets that second place back. Here he comes, though, up the inside. That's a great move.
Manna from heaven for the race leader. That's exactly what he needs at this stage. Yes, boys, you keep battling for that second spot because I don't want you up my chuff. I want to get away. You keep battling. They are closer than they were earlier on, but that, as you can see there, that's physically actually cost them a good 5 or 6 kart lengths. They're 5 or 6 kart lengths further back than they were. So they've got to work together if they're going to catch the leader.
Well, Clark is back through into third position now, so he has managed to get past White. But now, this is going to be an interesting scenario. Can Clark push Westover to close down on Fender? And let's be honest here, if anybody in that move can, as Gordon Much gets up another place, if anybody's going to push Westover forward to close up, as Evan Cook makes the same move on Shane White, a disappointment for White as he tumbles down. I will get my words out eventually. If Clark is able, if there's anybody who's going to push Westover towards Fender and close in on the lead, it's Oliver Clark.
Yeah, it will be. Oliver Clark, Super 1 champion 2015 in Honda Cadet. He's had a good season here in X30, not done every round.
Look at the gap, it's disappearing.
It is, it's coming down, and you have to think, if 2 or 3 of them get right behind him, don't forget, there's only a couple of them got to pass him. 2 karts have to pass the race leader here to push him down into second place in the championship and give Gordon Much there the championship lead. He wins it if Fender ends up outside the top 2.
Maybe it's not going to be Culloden. Maybe it's going to be Bannockburn after all, because Fender is suddenly in a problem here. Clark and Westover are charging hard, and Much has got up into 4th position past Ethan Pitt, and you can bet he's going to push these 2 further forward. He's not going to want to overtake Clark or Westover. He's going to want to get onto the tail of them, push them further forward, and start pushing them into Fender.
This is Gordon Much's race now, and I tell you what, the man in 4th place there, Gordon Much on the 61, just going through the shot in the blue suit. He knows that this race is now in his hands because the race leader has now got no lead whatsoever.
I don't believe it. The gap has just gone. The gap has disintegrated. He was leading by over 2 seconds in the early stages, and the gap has vanished.
Fender is in trouble. The race leader's in trouble. He's got the championship in his pocket as things stand, but he's in trouble. If 2 of the karts behind him get past him, and one of those karts in 4th place is Gordon Much. Much will just want to push the karts in front of him, in front of Fender, and that gives Gordon Much the title.
Wow, I don't believe it's come down to this. And here comes Westover. Westover goes for Fender. Westover's through. So second is the minimum that Fender can be at. But look who's behind him, Clark and Much, and Clark goes for it. Clark goes up the inside, and he's through. The championship is now going to go to Much, and Much goes through as well. Much passes Fender. It's going to be Much who wins the championship. That's how quickly it's changed.
Now, interesting. If Gordon Much here is thinking clearly, he will back up Angus Fender into the karts behind him now. There's no benefit to Gordon Much finishing necessarily in front of Angus Fender. He wins the championship if Fender finishes 3rd. So all he needs to do is allow the karts in front of him to get away.
Yeah, hold him up.
All he needs to do here is to just back Fender up into the car behind, just slow him down and allow Oliver Clark and the race leader here to get away.
Yeah, do you know what, Louis? You can have the win. Oliver, you can chase him down. As long as I keep this boy behind me, I am the champion. This is going to be Bannockburn after all.
He's not thinking about it. He has not thought about this scenario. He probably thought coming into this 15th place, I'm going to need other drivers to do me a favour. He's probably not realised, I'm going to be in front of him at some point. If I am, and I'm 3rd and he's 4th, what do? If he'd realised this and thought about this as a scenario beforehand, he would be backing him up to give the karts in front of Gordon Much as much of a lead as possible. That's all he needs to do. Slow Angus Fender up. He's not thinking about it. He's not thought about that at all because he didn't think he was going to be in this position. So he's just racing. That's what he is. He's a racing driver. He's just going to try and finish in front of Angus Fender and keep Fender outside the top 2 positions.
Well, interestingly, Clark is now right on the back of Westover. Much is now right on the back of Clark, and Fender's now right on the back of Much. He's going to get really close from here. Reggie Dewey behind all this lot, the fastest man on the circuit, just sub a minute, and Much knows. Last lap. Oh, he thinks he's won it.
He thought he'd won it. He's miscalculated the laps and he loses a place.
Oh, this is getting tense now. I think Gordon Much believed he had won the championship, and he's just let his principal rival through to go for the championship. If he gets past one more kart, he's the champion. Clark's going the long way round Westover, and he gets through. So Clark takes the lead. Westover's going to try and come back at him. They're going to lose time. They're going to hold each other up into Fender. Fender's got a chance to win this. Through the second hairpin, they bang wheels. Fender might get a chance here. Westover's held up by Clark. Clark leads it from Westover, Fender and Much. Much is not giving up yet, but Fender might get a chance. This is for the championship. Fender up the inside. He gets second. Yes, but Much is going to get past both of them. Fender runs wide. How on earth did that happen? Fender is champion for about 0.7 of a second, and then Much gets past them both. Clark is going to win the race. Much is going to win the championship. How much can happen in 60 seconds of Super 1 to decide a championship? Unbelievable. Gordon Much is the Junior X30 champion for 2016. Clark wins from Much, Westover and Fender. Gutted, doesn't even begin to describe it. I can't believe what I just saw. If you took the script of this to a Hollywood producer, they'd throw it out. They wouldn't believe you. Gordon Much is champion by just 3 points to Fender, with Pitt, Harry McQuillan and Shane White in the top 5. And this one is going to be written about for decades.
At first I didn't think that I was cut enough to bleed. Then I saw my secrets getting swallowed by the sea.